Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the eye because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hope y'all are doing lovely this Wednesday or whenever you're catching this. I'm doing great. Um, so like I mentioned last week, this is going to be season one, and season one is all about personal development and self growth. So, if you want to stay up to date with the episodes for this season, please subscribe on YouTube or make sure to check in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good jazz so you can stay up to date with, personal development. How I have been working on things for the last few years to help you work on things moving forward. Or you can share with me how you've been working on yourself for the last few years, but stay up to date. But y'all, this week is going to be about journaling and how it has helped me, on my personal development journey. Because if you're on YouTube, your girl has had a lot of journals. And what's crazy is they're not even all filled. It's just every time I get a new journal, I write somewhere new whenever I need to write. So it kind of I just be having stuff all over the place. Some of these journals are, just write in journals. Some of these journals are prompted. So you can go in and do the work. Like this one is the shadow work journal. If you were on TikTok, this was like a really popular book on TikTok. So, I went through that. As well as I'm pretty sure I got other stuff where I've been journaling, writing down, learning myself, and everything like that. So, journaling, needless to say, has helped me a lot on this journey. I first started doing journaling probably from my last job when I was, what was I? The not the crisis specialist. No, I was a peer support specialist. There we go. I knew I was a specialist or something. I was a peer support specialist in Tampa. It was like a part-time job, and we would do like groups every Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Fridays. And on the Wednesdays, we would do like a art poetry type of dang or whatever. And so we were given these books because the group is called Bit Not Broken. I don't know if it's still called that because I don't work there no more, but it was called Bit Not Broken. And they gave us these journals for us to be able to do our poetry in and everything. But I not only did poetry in here, when I got home, I turned this into a journal. So this is when I first started journaling, is in the Bit Not Broken books. So kind of what encouraged me to start journaling is like I was dealing with God number two. And if you don't know about God number two, go look at episodes 1 through 15. Maybe 1 through 30. I don't even know, but start from the beginning. Then you get to see that, that interaction with him was like really a lot for me to take in when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex or dealing with somebody you like or care about or whatever the case may be. That situation was a lot on me. It was a lot of back and forth. I think that it really played it like when people say you get addicted to people, or at least not the people, but to the behaviors that they bring into your life. Like, I genuinely think I was addicted because it was a lot of push and pull. Like, he'll come in, leave out, come in, leave out. So I think I was addicted to that. So when you're addicted, you have really high highs and you have really low lows. So when I had that job, um, I was like going through. I would see him one time, not see him for another period of time. I would talk to him this time, but not talk to him for another period of time. So it was a lot of back and forth, in and out. And like it would cause my brain to be all over the place trying to figure out like, yo, what's going on? What is this? Like, is he coming back? Is he gone? Do he like me? Do he not? Like it was so many questions and everything coming across my brain. So it was like really heavy on my spirit. And so when like the first time I journaled about it was like just me having dreams, because I know like for me, And I don't know if this is for anybody else, but when stuff is like really heavy on my spirit, I dream about it. Like, and it's very vivid dreams. Now, the dreams may correlate to like what's going on in real life, but the dreams may also, help me to feel better about the situation. So, like, the dreams were like not helping me to feel better about the situation. They were like really heavy, in a sense of like they'll say something in the dream or something will go right in the dream, but it's not going right in real life. So it would make me wake up and be like, dang, that's not reality, and now I gotta wake up to reality. So I would just journal. Like, there was times where I would wake up out of my dream and, well, out of my sleep, and I'd just be crying, writing, and everything like that, just going through my thoughts, processing and everything. So the first few the first few pages of this book, if you can see, it's probably like blurry because of the first few pages of this book, outside of my poems and everything, is like literally where it was like so heavy for me to be like coming out my dream, and something happened in the dream that I wish happened in real life, or something happened in the dream that I don't want to happen in real life, or whatever the case may be. And so it was really helping me to get all of that off of my temple, because it was a lot. Like, and so that was like very helpful to be able to, start writing that stuff out. And by the time I got through writing the 5 or 6 pages, like, I would feel a bit lighter. I would feel like I'm not carrying as much. So, like, though, like, something I will say when it comes to journaling is that you can journal when you feel really heavy and don't trust to tell anybody else, or there's no one else to tell at the moment, and it helps you to feel just a bit lighter. Now, is it gonna change everything? No, but it does help you feel lighter. So, like, that kind of is like the starting point of my journaling journey. And so I kind of just want to give like some benefits of like journaling and everything, because I'm pretty sure there's some benefits that I'm going to read off that apply to me. So I just want to give you some benefits. So it says, as far as mental health goes, journaling can help with reducing stress, which is kind of, what helped me was like waking up out of the dream, stressed the fuck out, and being able to journal down. And then, just to go off topic, because I love going off topic. It's funny when dudes be like, "Oh, my girl think I'm cheating because of a dream," or whatever the case may be, and it's just like people don't understand. Like, dreams are very heavy if you don't process them in the right way. Like, if you hold that stuff on your spirit and you act off of that alone, like, dreams can navigate you into the wrong direction. Like, for me, I could have easily took them dreams and ran with it, but I was in a space where I could slow down and just like write out everything to really see what was reality versus what wasn't, and be able to come back to a space of understanding, to know that that was just a dream. So for all the women out there that be like they caught their nigga cheating in a dream, slow down. Maybe journal. Maybe journal so that you're not, making rash decisions. Because although those feelings that a dream can evoke can be heavy, doesn't always make it right or rational. And so journaling can help with that. So stress reduction. And then improving mood. Journaling can help you control symptoms and improve your mood. Facts, y'all. Like, outside of when I wake up out my dream and I'm crying or whatever, so I need to journal. Like, I journal sometimes when I just feel like very stuck. Like, when I just feel stuck in a mood that's not the most positive, I will journal, and then that helps me to release as well. Journaling to me is like being able to talk to a friend about what's going on, except for the friend don't say nothing back. Like the paper not gonna say nothing back to you, but you get to let it all out, and you're not the only one that holds that energy in. It's like the paper gets to be a friend for you. It gets to take on that weight that you have inside you. I don't know if that makes sense, y'all, but for me, that's kind of what journaling does. Is like it's like the paper is your friend, and it gets to hold everything, so you're not holding it by yourself. So, improving your mood is another benefit of journaling. Another one is coping with anxiety and depression. So, it says journaling can help you cope with anxiety, depression, and PTSD, which I would imagine that would help. So, with journaling, you get to really see where your brain is stuck if you're doing it on a consistent basis. So, for me, all of these books and everything that I showed you, they're not filled up because I don't journal consistently, but that's for me. I feel the need to journal when my energy feels really heavy and I don't want to talk to nobody about it. Like for me, I use journaling as a as needed type of practice. But some people may need to journal as a daily ritual. Like I see when I'm like trying to go on chat GPT and come up with schedules, that people include journaling into their schedules. Excuse me. That rituals, because journaling helps to keep everything in alignment. It not alignment, but keep everything in order. It helps you to keep track of thoughts. It helps you to keep track of the space you're in. Because if you're somebody that is possibly going through depression and you happen to journal, you get to see how long you're sitting in each of the feelings or the thoughts or whatever the situation is. If you're, writing daily about that, you get to see where you're stuck at. And then you get to reach out for help and let somebody know where you're stuck at. Or, you get to figure out how to get yourself out of that space by, consistently writing in your journal and stuff like that. And as far as like anxiety go, you get to plan things out. You get to figure out like backup plans to figure out, if this goes wrong, then I have this as a backup plan. So I definitely can understand how journaling can help with anxiety and depression. And then increasing self awareness. Journaling can help you reflect on your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, facts. So, again, like I found out I was really stuck on that situationship relationship. I was like really stuck on it. And even now, well, I haven't journaled about it since last year, but like that was like 5, almost 6 years just being stuck in a situation mentally. Journaling allowed me to see that. And granted, I started journaling about that 4 years after the fact or 3 years after the fact. So imagine if I would have started journaling as soon as the situation like ended the first time to now, like it just would have shown me just how stuck my brain was and how big of an impact it had on me. And the thing about it is, it's not even just the person himself. It was like the behaviors. It was the emotions that it was evoking. It was the things that it was bringing up for myself. It was so many things that I was stuck in. And by journaling about the situation overall from the like last 2 years, I've been able to see like where my brain has been stuck in that situation. And so, no, I don't think about the situation as much because I've been able to, shift mindsets. Like the biggest thing about that was I was so focused on him that I wasn't focused on me. And what's funny is he told me the exact same thing. But, it's not until you tell yourself something that you actually believe it. But, ever since I've really been like focused on me, I haven't really had my brain set in the emotion of there. Do I miss him? Of course. When you build a connection with somebody, you're going to miss them. Would I like to talk to him? Of course, all of those things. But Is my mind fixated and stuck there? No, not anymore. Not anymore. And that's the benefit of, journaling, is you get to see what needs improvement by the things that you're constantly writing about, or just the things you're writing about in general. You learn a lot about what's going on in here by writing it down, because sometimes when you're just thinking about things, you can tend to forget them. So by writing them down, it gives you the space to be able to come back and see if you're still in that thought process that you were maybe 5 weeks ago, or 5 months ago, or 5 years ago. Like, it gives you a snippet into your brain in that period of time, so that you can compare and contrast and see if you're growing and evolving, or if there's some space that you still have to work on. So, for the benefits of journaling for brain health, is journaling can help keep your brain in good shape by boosting memory and comprehension, increasing working memory capacity, improving cognitive processing, signaling to your brain that what you write is important. So, I don't necessarily use it for those reasonings, but I definitely can understand how, journaling can be a brain health benefit. Um, how journaling can be a personal growth benefit, which kind of ties into the mental health. But it says journaling can help you track your progress towards goals, reflect on your experiences, foster creativity, and develop resilience. So I completely agree. I just talked about all of that stuff. Journaling has really helped me out with all of that stuff. As far as like the foster creativity, I personally, what's crazy is when we were doing those poetry nights and everything at the last job, I never, like, you never really think you're creative when you're looking at your own work. You always think, it is what it is. It's not until you get a fresh pair of eyes onto your work that you're just like, okay, I might can do that. Like, I might got something going on. So it's just like weird, because I never, granted, have I probably done poetry my whole entire life? Yeah, that was a part of language arts. We had to write poems. We had to do, the haikus and all of that stuff. But you never really think that you're like a poet. Like, for me, I feel like some of the best poets are the ones that are super metaphorical, but in a way that is understandable. I don't know too many metaphors. So I just never really pictured or viewed myself as a poet. And I don't really write. I'm a talker, not really a writer. But being in the group and having the poetry nights and actually having to work on poems, helped me to realize, like, yo, you actually aren't that bad when it comes to poetry writing. Like, I would get compliments and I didn't even know that it was good. Like, I thought it was basic. Let's say that. I'm not going to say I didn't think it was good, but I thought it was basic. Because again, I'm like the person that views like the people that are really good in poetry as the people that's super metaphorical, that have like those deep metaphors that you just like, yo, that right there, that right there is a good one. So for me, I didn't view it, but having that space of getting to be creative, and not even just on the poetry side, but just writing in general. Like, I'm big on free writing. Like, our poetry instructor, he like would have us do like brainstorm writes, or I forgot how you say, like freestyle writes or whatever, where he would like set a timer and you just write to write. That's my favorite way of writing. I really just like to just write and just go, and don't think about being super creative, just being real. And the craziest part about that is you find that there's so much art in our realness that we don't put together unless you have an eye for that. But like, I'm pretty sure if people read through my journaling and stuff like that, they could easily say this is like poetry or you should write a book or whatever the case may be. For me, because I'm just like writing off the dome and I'm just writing to write and just being real. Like, I'm not thinking like, yo, this is really art. This can really, tell a story. This is really can paint a picture or whatever the case may be. So it's cool that, when you're writing and journaling and just getting your thoughts off and being able to put it in a way in which is creative or artistic to someone, like, that's cool. So like the foster creativity part, that's really cool because I really is like, I don't be thinking I'm an artist until somebody tell me like, oh my god, that's so cool that you did that. Like, you're really talented or some like shit like that. I don't know, but sometimes you really don't think that you're good at what you do until fresh eyes get on it. I wonder why, but let me know if y'all agree because I don't know. I think I'm just talking. But some more benefits of journaling, and this for the physical health, is journaling can help lower blood pressure, which I probably can agree. When I wake up out my dream and that shit feel heavy, blood pressure probably high. Then by the time I get done writing, blood pressure probably has like leveled back out. I can see that because if it's helping to reduce stress, then I can see it helping to lower blood pressure. That makes sense. Improving lung and liver function. Now I don't know how I do that, but again, we don't realize that our feelings and emotions and all that stuff is like energy. And what they say, energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transferred, or what is it, transferred or whatever. I don't know. But it's just like, if all of that energy of the emotions of whatever is going on just sits in your body, I can only imagine what it's doing to your cells and your organs and everything like that. So again, to me, journaling is like that best friend that you could just let everything on, but you don't worry about being a burden because they can't respond back to you. It ain't got nothing going on. And so for you to be able to, write out everything and just release onto that paper, and that paper is going to be perfectly fine when you release, like, I can only imagine what it really does for your insides to let all of that shit out. So I can wholeheartedly see how it helps to improve lung and liver function. I don't know why it would be. I can see it. I can see it. And then it says that it can help with reducing stress related visits to the doctor. Okay, we already said the reducing stress. And then it says, lastly, journaling can also help you prioritize problems, fears, and concerns, identify negative thoughts and behaviors, and connect ideas, memories, and facts. Which, again, I wholeheartedly agree with. I have learned a lot about myself from writing and journaling, and I'm pretty sure there's still a lot more to go. You like this book right here. Again, if you can't see, go to YouTube so you can see my journal. It's a new one. But this journal is, I initially started this journal so I could ask myself questions because, of course, we all learn, we all want to be in a relationship one day, or maybe you don't because you like being alone. I like being alone, but I don't want to be alone for forever. So this journal was initially so that I can learn myself, so that I can go into the dating space with a good head on my shoulders and know how to, present myself in front of people because I know exactly what I want and things like that. So this book was used to ask myself some questions and everything like that. And so I learned a lot about myself. And what's disheartening just a little bit, and this is the reason why I now, what I'm going to say is, don't just journal and forget about the stuff. Journal and go back and read over your stuff. Like, really take in your stuff, because what was disheartening about going back in this journal and reading the answers to my questions is that when I came across the last dude, my answers to the questions was none of what that last dude was. And so sometimes by journaling, you get to see who you are. And then by living life, you get to see how far away from you really are being because of fears and abandonment wounds and things you still need to work on, or trauma, or whatever the case may be. Because I would go through it, or let's backtrack, maybe in my answers, those are the things that I would like to be or want to be, and then doing things in real life just show me who I really am. It could be vice versa. It could be either or. I don't know. But like that last situation I just dealt with was nothing of the sorts of the answers that I put in this book. And so one thing I will work on this year, not only reading books of other people, but going through and really reading my own stuff to remember who it is that I'm working to become, who it is I say I am, and, really instilling that into me. Because had I kept reading over my answers and really, making sure that I was in tune with these answers and not just giving them just to give them, I would have been reminded that I'm looking for so much more than what that person had in front of me. And what's crazy is I had already knew that I didn't need to intervene or intertwine myself with that person. It's just, again, that fear, that abandonment, that stuff flares, and all that shit goes out the window, because there were so many times where I kept telling myself, this is not what you need. This is not what you need. This is not what you need. And I'd be damned if I still ended up in the situation. And granted, it's okay, life be life in. And so it's okay, but it does help you to figure out how to navigate moving forward. Like, the more that I pick up along the way, the more that I can work on and implement moving forward. So it was not only enough to just journal about my experiences and things that I was going through. Now I need to journal and read through the different things. Now I need to become familiar with who I am. It kind of makes me think of how we interact with other people sometimes. Like, most of us, we really don't know people, because we'll find out an answer, move on to the next thing, find out an answer to that, move on to the next thing. And the only way you really know somebody, excuse me, is if you're around them constantly, for you to learn it, not for them to tell you. And so getting to know yourself is constantly asking yourself the same question maybe 1,000 times. And what's crazy is I've always been the person that be like, I don't like to repeat myself. I don't like to repeat myself. And I might have to learn how to repeat myself. I might have to learn how to go through and really learn me and really become one with me, in order to become one with somebody else, if that makes sense. Because one would think me answering these questions about dating, like one of the questions off the page I opened up to, it says, in what ways could you step outside your comfort zone a bit to reach your relationship goals? And I said, shoot my shot at the guys I'm actually interested in instead of waiting for them to approach me. Guess what? Deja ain't shot no shots. Deja ain't shot no shots. Deja was allowing people to continue to shoot shots at me. And then when I end up with stuff I genuinely don't want to or need to be with, I'm just over here like, what is it about me that is, because I'm not being true to who I say I'm trying to be or trying to get to, or who I am. Like, I'm not getting outside of my comfort zone by, letting people approach me. And it's so weird because that one specific, and it's crazy I pulled up that one because that one's so weird because it's like in a society that tells you men are supposed to, be the ones to approach and everything. But then you got the people that be like, oh, this is 2025 and women can approach too and they can do this. Like, you really don't be knowing what to do on top of the rejection piece that you gotta heal and, get back to a space of being confident enough to, put yourself out there. Because when I was younger, which is crazy to even say, but when I was younger, now I was still scared, of course, because you're a kid, but I was more likely to put myself in the fire than now as a grown ass person. As a grown ass person, I don't put myself in the line of fire at all. So then when I end up with the shit that I just genuinely did not want, I can't even be mad. Like, I'd be so scared to put myself in the line of fire. Like, and that's crazy. But had I, gone back through here and read through these answers, and there's still way more questions that I need to answer, but had I really been learning myself, then it could force me to be like, okay, girl, you said you were supposed to be stepping outside your comfort zone, but your ass still just waiting on people to shoot their shot. What's going on? Something's not lining up. Either you're okay with the shit that keeps coming to you, or you gonna put your big girl pants on and go get what you want. And so, like, just that question alone, and I can only imagine what the rest of these questions, these are other questions that have me like, girl, you ain't did shit. You said you, like, yo, having a paper trail is crazy. Like, it just shows you, like, what you're doing versus what you're not doing. Like, this paper trail is crazy. Like, that was just one question, and it really made me feel some type. It really made me feel some type of way. But it's like, that's the beauty in journaling. It can really let you know, like, are you about what you say you about, or are you lying and faking it? Like, do you genuinely want to become a different person? Not even a different person, but a more evolved person, or the person you used to be. Because again, it ain't like I never put myself in the line of fire. It's just that whenever I put myself in the line of fire, that shit was hit down. And so it definitely, I definitely took all that shit personally. And it just made me be on some, oh well, whatever comes to me, I'm just gonna accept that. And it's like, mm-mm. Sorry. Who? Who? Who would have known this episode would make me cry? But it's like, are you just gonna accept that, or are you gonna, start going after what you say that you want, and not just settle for what keeps coming your way because it's easy? Like, I don't want to be that person. I've never been that person to just take the easy route. Like, am I the person to be like, okay, work smarter, not harder? Yes. But just to take the easy route, that's never been my thing. And so it's just like, that question really just got the best of me. And it's crazy because low key, I'm going through that right now. That question was, ooh. God know what he be doing, y'all. He know what he be doing. Because when I tell you that question has been like the epitome of like my dating right now. Is like, do I just continue to allow things to keep coming to me that I don't I don't want, or whatever the case may be, or do I go after what I want? And not even just what I want. Because I mean, I think all of it is what you need. Because if I go after what I want is up. So this, of course, that will be what I need to help me get to the next level. But if I just allow things to attract to me, that's going to be what I need too. Because those are people that's going to trigger shit that I that I'm already used to, and it's gonna help me to stay in the same cycle, maybe to learn how to deal with it a little bit better. So it's all what you need at the end of the day, but it's like, is it what I desire? Is it what I like, what my heart desires? What keeps attracting to me is not what I desire. What I desire is the stuff that I need to go after. And I have really become so scared of going after it. And it's just like crazy that that was the question that I just read. And y'all, mind you, I just opened the book up to a random question. And that was the question. And you could tell, like, it's been weighing on me. I didn't know how heavy. I mean, I kind of knew how heavy, but I didn't know it was that heavy until I just released some tears. But that's just crazy because I've been needing to get out of my comfort zone when it comes to guys. Like, genuinely, I keep telling myself, like, this year, well, not this year, but like, I see marriage and families and everything around me, and I hate to be the time person, but like, time is going by, and you know, I've had a desire to be in a relationship since heaven only known how long. But everything that keeps coming my way ends up being just as toxic as what I'm used to. And it's crazy because the stuff that I would go after would be something to help me get to another level. Like, and that's the thing sometimes, that I don't know if that applies to everybody. But if you ever paid attention to the stuff that you desire versus the stuff that you just let come to you, and it could be, if depending on the space you're in, but if you're in a toxic place, the stuff that's going to come to you is going to keep you in that toxic place to continue to navigate in that toxic space. And then you got to go after the things that's going to help you to get to a better level, or to better environment, or to a better situation overall. Like, in a toxic space right now where I am, and not even just like super toxic, like how people use the word toxic, but just in the space of like what everybody in my family is going through, which is somebody comes in, we can argue, all this other stuff, then we're happy 2 seconds later, and they argue all over again, then we're happy 2 seconds later. Like, I am tired of that cycle. And so everything that I'm attracting in is going to mimic that. Versus if I go after what I want. Now, granted, am I going to get away from that? Who knows? But I do want to get out of my comfort zone and go after the things that I desire, to see if that comes with a different set of problems. Like, I don't even remember what episode it was, but I'm tired of the same old problems. Like, I want better problems. Like, I want a whole new situation I have to learn how to navigate. I'm tired of the same stuff. And so, like, the fact that that was like the question, oh, y'all, I'm sorry, that just took me all the way off track. Or maybe it was right on time. Divine timing. God plays no games. I tell you, he plays none at all. but but yes, journaling can help you to do all that and some more. It helps you to really see if you're up, like, remaining true to yourself, like, real deal. Because I think when you're going through and you're asking these questions, and these are some of the relationship questions, of course I want to be able to ask myself fun, lighthearted shit, but when you're going through and asking yourself these questions, most of these answers, I think, is really true to who you would like to be or who you are. Then when you come back and read it after you've experienced things, and you see that you're not really living up to that person, or you're not really feeding into that person that answers these questions, it does make you so disappointed. Like, the fact that I told myself, and this was like 2 years ago, that I need to work on shooting my shot at people versus letting them shoot shots at me. And I have not done that. And then the one half of time, let's say half, it was very half of time that I did it. I don't even know if the shot was received or whatever the case may be, because nothing has changed between me and that person. Like, I don't know if the shot was received, if it was rejected, if it was what it like. And so it's just it. Then it makes you be like, okay, I don't know if I really want to put myself in this vulnerable position and stuff like that. So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like that's a whole nother episode in and of itself. But like, yeah, y'all, like journaling is it's really cool. Let's see what's in this book that can make me cry. Um so here's a question. It's one of the reflection questions from the Shadow Work journal. And I think it goes with the pages. Let me see if I can find something that's I can put out. So this is a letter to myself, and I'm gonna share it with everybody because why not? It might end up just being to myself anyways, because I'm hoping y'all will watch, but this might just be a letter to myself anyway. But it says, "Dear Dejanay, I'm sorry that you had to endure molestation at such a young age. I'm also sorry that the molestation came from your father. No young woman should ever be violated in that way, especially the one man that was assigned to protect you. I know deep down you feel like you could have prevented it from happening, but baby, there was nothing you could do about it. When you got on the floor that night, you had no idea that your whole relationship with your father would change that day. You trusted him and he failed you. I understand why you have put yourself in compromising positions. You were hoping that someone would protect you because your father didn't. I want you to understand now that you are capable of saving yourself. You can say no and know that you aren't losing anything or anyone that's meant to be in your life. Love, Dejanay." Like, and that's just like a little tidbit. And you know what's crazy is like I can read that and be perfectly fine because I've been doing the work and growing. Like that, probably when I wrote that, I probably was bawling in tears, everything. But the power of journaling is, again, you get to put all that energy on this paper that is not impacted, that does not, feel, does not hurt, none of that. You get to put that on that paper to release you from those chains that's been holding you in, so that you can go through a situation and not feel like that shit has bondage over you. Me writing to myself about the molestation that I experienced with my dad, like that would have broke me when I first started thinking about it. And now I can read it and be perfectly fine because I have fed and given to that side of me so much. Outside of just journaling about it, I've really tended to that little girl. Now, I'm still working to, as a big grown woman, dealing with other men to make sure that I cater to that little girl. But I have really catered to that side of me so much that reading through that doesn't break my heart like it would have once did. Like, again, like, journaling has just been so game changing. I didn't know that I needed this so much. I really didn't. I would have never thought. When people had diaries back in the day, I thought the shit was corny, and I probably tried to do it, but me, I don't think I ever stuck with it. But like now, as an adult, having a diary has been a saving grace of mine. And it's only the beginning of this journey because, like I said, I plan to go back and really read and learn about where I'm heading And if I'm committing to myself in the ways in which that I say I would like to commit to myself, outside of the health journeys and the what else? The what is it called? Health journeys. What is it? The job careers. I just want to make sure I'm committing to myself. Like, letting self love be the top of this season was perfect because all this is going to tie into how I got to that self love. And in that one little question, I showed that I've been letting myself down, that I've been holding myself back and not really living up to my full potential. That's not really loving on myself, and not in the way in which I would like to love on myself. And so it reminds you of the things that you should be working towards, that you should be working on. It helps you to get shit off your chest so you're not holding it in. Like, it's so many benefits of journaling that until you start writing, you'll never know what you get from it. And again, it does not have to be consistent. I in no way am I consistent with any of this. And I don't even think I would want to be consistent with it. Like, no. But I do lean on it when I need it. Now, the things I will say I might be a little bit more consistent on is asking my questions, writing my questions down, and doing my questions. Like, but that'll also help me to do that with other people, is because I suck at questions. I suck at asking people questions. I suck at questions altogether. I love when people talk like me a lot. So I ain't got to ask them questions. They just talk, and then you learn a lot about them. But, I do want to get back into going through my questions and writing down the answers, and not just about relationship stuff, but, fun stuff. And, maybe I'll turn that into a season because I was thinking about that. But, just asking myself some questions and really learning about myself. And, hopefully that'll help y'all to answer some questions about you and kind of give you a starting point of your journaling journey so that or you get to learn yourself rather. So I'm gonna go to another space in the book where I wrote down some stuff. It's called Putting Yourself Last. And then it says, where are you putting yourself last? Think of the last time you did this to yourself in an unhealthy way. Why did you put aside your own well being and needs? So I I wrote this to myself. I said, I tend to think of myself last almost often. I see people in so much turmoil around me that I want to save them. I really don't think of myself until I realize that the things I want from others, I don't get it and how that makes me feel. I really try to be attentive to those around me like I wish someone had been for me. I really don't have the support from people around me like I wish I had. I could show up for myself, but it just reminds me of how alone I am on this journey. I felt alone for so long that I really want to feel that feeling. Wait, I really want to feel that feeling. I don't know. Helping others keep me in connection. I do know that if I focus on giving myself the things I want, I will most likely come across people that want to support me rather than having to always be the support. It's just getting to a place of being okay being alone for a period so that I can show up better in the world and attract better and longer sustaining connections and relationships. This year, I do plan on giving myself the time to study and take the GRE so that I can go back to school. I know being a therapist is a part of my journey, and the longer I cheat myself out of the hard part, the further back I push my ability to help those that want the help. I also plan on giving myself the podcast back. I loved who I was doing. I loved who I was doing it. It may not look like I it may not look like how I want it to look now, but it will be great because it will be me. Like, y'all, I don't even know when I wrote this. I think I wrote this when I first moved in back at home. So to think that I have This is so emotional. This is why journaling is good. But to think that in one aspect, I feel like I'm not giving myself the things that I said that I want to give myself. But then I read the another thing and I get to see that, I'm actually doing the things that I intended to do. It helps to, it's such a balance. So in one aspect, I feel like I'm not doing enough. But in another aspect, I feel like I'm right on track. And so the beauty, the beauty of being able to document your brain in a specific time frame and to go back and just to see how well you're doing on this thing called life, on this track called life. Like, I reading that first question, I'm thinking, yo, you was not taking yourself out of the comfort zone. Now, granted, like I said, I did halfway. I did halfway. I didn't shoot all the way. I didn't shoot super hard, but I shot enough to where I think he knows that I shot. But, you know, it took me a while to do that because this was like 3 years in the making. This journal with the question was like 3 years in making. So to be just now shooting the shot, like, granted, hey, I'll take small wins, but in one instance, I didn't even think I was, doing what I told myself that I would be doing, and then in the next instance, I'm doing exactly what I told myself that I needed to do. I took that raggedy ass GRE that that I don't want to take ever again in my life. That's why I'm just like hoping and praying, like, yo, I just need one of the schools to see something in me that I see in myself. Like, I just need one of them. And even if they don't, like, yo, I plan on helping people in the best way that I can. Like, whether they accept me in or not, like, that's not going to be what makes or breaks the therapist in me. Like, I already help out people. I already give words of encouragement. I already do the things in which a degree or a licensing would allow me to do. Like, I already do these things, but the fact that, I felt like before I wasn't putting myself first, and to read that back over just to see like how far, like how far I've come. Like, that shit cool. Like, that's cool. Like, that's self-love, y'all. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all this ties back into self-love. Like, that's self-love. Like, I told myself I need to stop putting myself last, and I really need to give more to me because I wasn't receiving that from other people. And so to see that I'm doing what I said I was going to do, to start back the podcast, and I don't even know if this was before I took the hiatus or after, but I started back the podcast twice. I didn't give up on myself there. I finally took that goddamn GRE and did my applications. Like, I'm really showing up for myself. Like, and that is fire. Like, that is like complete. Like, that's cool. That is cool. Like, I am proud of you. I am proud of you for doing the work and, putting yourself first, because that is the hardest thing you can do sometimes, is to put yourself first in a healthy way. And you did it. And I am proud of you. Sorry, y'all. I had to have that moment for me because I didn't even remember that I wrote this, and the fact that I did those things is really great. So looks like I won't be reading through this and being completely disappointed. Like, I'll be reading through this, and I will have like highs and lows, peaks and valleys. I will have things that I still am working towards and slowly healing and building and everything like that. And then I will have things that I am doing and I am accomplishing, and that makes me way more happy anything else. Like to see the evolution and growth and everything, like that shit is unmatched, y'all. It is completely unmatched. But I don't even know if I if I should read anything else. I did not intend on crying. I did not intend on crying this much, but sometimes you got to get that off your spirit. Sometimes those tears are not even just for bad times, they're really for, like, those were good tears. Those were very proud tears. Those were, and it's crazy, y'all, because I had two sets of tears in this episode. I had tears of joy and I had tears of disappointment. Like that's legit the amount of emotion that you can go through. And this is only an hour. We ain't even got to an hour yet, y'all. But just think about, this is what I'm going through, going back through what I've been writing and everything. Imagine for a person that does not journal, for a person that does not talk to others, they're going through all of these thoughts and emotions and everything by themselves, and it's just on their spirit, and they're just going through it day by day. No wonder why addiction is so prevalent in in today's time, because they're trying to run away from that shit. Like, I just went through disappointment and joy all in the same, like, all in the, like, sadness and joy all in the same time. Like, it really was given inside out just then. Like, sadness was over here crying because I ain't shooting my shots at these fine ass niggas. Like, and then joy over here, like, girl, but you doing your podcast and you done did the GRE, and like, the emotions be emotional, and like, chill out. But yes, like, but again, like, imagine for the person that doesn't get to let all of this stuff out. This is the type of shit that would drive you to want to take your life. And I would never promote that or highlight that or anything like that, because I've been there. When I used to keep it all in, I used to literally deal by myself. I've been there where that seemed like the only option. But now I'm in a space where if I can't rely on people, humans, because they got their own shit going on, baby, this piece of paper, this is a saving grace that most people don't realize. Like, you start to understand why they didn't want us to read or write. And it ain't just because of the shit that they put in books and everything like that. Imagine if we were reading and writing our own shit. Imagine if we were reading and writing, if we were writing how we felt about being treated this type of way and that type of way and that type of way and that type of way. But then not only do you write it, but then now you go back and read it, and then you just like, bitch, and I'm still dealing with that. Oh, bullshit. I bet you I won't be in this space for 2.2 more seconds after, like, there's so many reasons as to why they probably did not want us to read and write. And it ain't just about finding their facts at all. Like, there's power in writing, and even more power in reading. Like, y'all, like, I just went through sadness and joy in 2.2 seconds off of reading alone. But if I did not have the ability to be able to write that, I would have had that thought, forgot about it. Because again, like, I forgot about that. I didn't even know that I had wrote to myself, like, yo, you need to take the GRE. You need to start your podcast back. You need to put yourself out. Like, granted, I knew that that was something I needed to do. Those are things I needed to do. But I did not remember that I wrote that down to myself. And to go back and read that and to see that I've been doing that, like, yo, that's a different type of feeling. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. I just wanted to let y'all into how journaling has helped me out. And y'all got a couple tears for out of me that were unintended. But again, God works in mysterious ways. So everything works. Excuse me. Everything works all together for a purpose and in the perfect alignment. So I I'm completely happy with this episode. And what's crazy is I had a rough time starting it. If y'all have been listening or watching, you know I have tough days certain times. Like it was one time where I had recorded the whole episode, but the microphone wasn't on, or something had happened and I didn't have no sound, so I had to record the whole thing over again. Then there was a time where I kept restarting it over because I didn't like how I was starting it, so I had to turn it off and then start all over again the next day. Like that was today for me, is like just starting and not liking how I was starting. And then it wasn't until I pulled these books out, when I pulled these books from off my desk where they were set up at, that's when I finally got it together. So I don't know if y'all believe in God, but like I say all the time, I do. Now, religion and all that other stuff, I'm still trying to figure that out. But God, when I tell you he there, or she there, or they there, or who, they there. Because I didn't think this was going to come together. But when I pulled these books out and turned, like, and pressed that start button, everything just worked. I flipped open to a page, to a question that was weighing heavy on my spirit for the last few months. That question, out of all the questions, crazy. Then I flipped open to a letter about the sexual assault between me and my dad. Like that doesn't tug at my heartstrings anymore. And then I get to putting me first and reminding myself that I need to apply for graduate school and start my podcast back, and I'm doing it all. So it's been so many ups and downs, but like God be doing it. And I give all the glory to God, because who knew that that was gonna happen? Who knew that y'all was gonna get them tears like that? Catch these tears. How about that? But I didn't know y'all was gonna get that. So yeah, I'm gonna end the episode right there, y'all. Please, please start your journaling journey so that you can see the evolution in real time. You can be reminded of the things that you would like to do, the things you're doing, the space you're in, the space you're stuck. You get to really go and be a fly on the wall in your head in a way in which we don't really do it ourselves sometimes. Like I get to be a fly on the wall in my head with the podcast, but writing down, I'm really a fly on my wall. Like at that period of time, I get to capture, the thought process, the how I was thinking and where I was at and all that. Like that's so cool to me. So I encourage y'all to start your journaling journey. Or if you're already journaling, like what are the ways you like to journal? I'm a free write kind of girl. I can do the prompts and I can do the questions, but I'm a free write kind of girl. Like I just wrote some stuff here about how I miss being touched on. Because sometimes physical touch, you just don't know that it's just necessity until you realize it's a necessity. But I just free wrote about physical touch, and that was like 3 pages of stuff. Like, and so I like free writing. It gives me the space to just write and keep writing until I'm tapped out. But how do you like to write? Share in the comments, and then like the video and subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those good things, because this is just like, this season is just getting started. I didn't know y'all was gonna get tears, but who knows where we going this season. It's about personal development and self-growth. So I can only imagine the amount of tears you probably gonna get, because I be going through some shit for real, for real. And I don't even be knowing I be going through it until I be going through it. So y'all gonna be getting like some real raw Dejanay, which I like giving out that, you know? But yes, stay tuned. I will be back next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, to talk about the next topic, because this season is about personal development and self-growth. So can't wait to tune in with y'all. Y'all have a great rest of the day, great morning, evening, whenever you're checking this out. I will check in with y'all next Wednesday at 7. Bye.